with Jake and Joy, sans Jake. Jake is taking a break, so I'm going to show you a special recipe that I love to make. And a lot of times I don't follow recipes. I just kind of look at what I've got in my cupboard, what I've got in the fridge, and I say, okay, I'm going to make this recipe, and this is what you're going to need. For this recipe, you're going to need some cremini mushrooms, you need spinach, some kind of gluten-free pasta, whatever you love, garlic, Miyoko's or another alternative butter, and my favorite, truffle picante spicy pasta sauce from Trader Joe's, if you can find it. Okay, now that you have the recipe and all the ingredients, let's start out by putting the pasta into the boiling water that I conveniently have boiling for you. I'm using the little twisty guys, I don't even know what they're called, fusilli. And
Rotini.
Are they called rotini?
I think they're called rotini.
No, rotinis are bigger, I think.
Okay.
Aren't they? I'm not 100% sure.
Well, it's definitely not cooked with Joy and Derek, so
No,
you're in charge.
No, it's not. All right, got the pasta going. That's great. I'm gonna also add tomatoes to this. I didn't include that in the ingredient list because it's not something that I've used before, but I have some tomatoes here and I wanna use them. So I'm just gonna take the little center thing out of them. And I'm gonna cut everything up kind of in big chunks because that's the way I like it. And as I'm preparing this stuff, I'm gonna get the butter going so that it gets nice and sizzling hot. And then I'm gonna add the garlic to it. And each little piece of it, this is a layered, really a layered recipe. And the butter is where it's gonna start. So get a nice little medium heat going there, that going. Chop up the garlic. Now the garlic I'm not gonna have in big chunks. I'm gonna do that really nice and finely. I made this for Derek last night and I kind of screwed it up a little bit. So I need a second chance to see if Derek actually likes it.
Disagree, it was wonderful last night. It really was good. The truffle sauce was awesome.
Good.
I really liked it.
Well, the truffle sauce I don't make. I cannot take any claim for that, but it is. If you can find this truffle picante sauce at your Trader Joe's, buy it in bulk because they only have it available once in a while. And it's unbelievable, I think. It just makes everything taste great. But you have to like truffles, and not everybody does. Once, my husband and I went out for dinner with our son, and we were at this restaurant. It was a medium-priced restaurant, and truffles were in season, talking about seasonality. And the waitress said, I think the dish was like $22. It was a risotto. And she said, would you like truffles on your risotto? And I said, sure, that'd be great. And my son said he would too. And I think it was $160 to add the truffles to both dishes. It was unbelievable. And you know, you'd think that she would have said something, but she did not. So I'm gonna add this garlic to the pan with the Miyoko's butter. I love Miyoko's butter. If you use an alternative butter and you love it, comment in the comment section below. Let us know which one you love and why you love it. I love the Miyoko's because it just has a great flavor. I know Jake likes it as well. As that's getting going, I'm gonna cut the cremini mushrooms. And you know, you could slice these, but I actually like them in chunks. So I'm gonna do some chunks, 3 ways that way, 1 way that way. You know, mushrooms are great for you. They have chromium in them, which is great for brain health. They also have vitamin D in them. Very few vegetables have vitamin D, so getting mushrooms on a regular basis. And cremini mushrooms have the highest amount of vitamin D in them. So we're gonna get these going. And the thing that I didn't do last night, Derek, was I didn't put enough mushrooms in your dish. The mushroom to pasta ratio was off. That was the problem.
I mean, I was going to say something, I just didn't want to be rude.
I know. We're going to fix that today. You're going to like it so much more. You're going to say, oh my God, this is like what it should taste like. Seriously, you are really going to say it. So see how nice and bubbly the mixture is, but we don't want to get it burned. Now we're going to add the mushrooms and get those going. Yum, yum, yum. While those are getting nice and browned, I'm going to cut up some tomatoes. Now these are called Campari tomatoes, and they sell them on the vine, and I love them. They're my favorite tomatoes. These are not as ripe as they normally are. Our Tower Garden tomatoes are my favorites by hands down. I don't know why it is, but they taste delicious. But I want to add some tomatoes because number one, they're going to add more nutrition. Tomatoes are so good for us, the lycopene, the vitamin C. And yes, they are a nightshade, and there are some people who are predisposed to not being able to have nightshade plants. But normally what happens is it's because they're not getting enough vegetables in their diet on a regular basis, and their gut is not designed to absorb something like the nightshade. So just make sure that you're getting lots of vegetables in your diet on a regular basis, and you won't have that problem. So let's add those to the pan. Shake it up a little bit. Wow, look at that. So I don't want to add the tomatoes before I have the mushrooms nice and brown, because they're gonna add liquid, and it's gonna cut down on the searing method. So let's add those, shake that up a little bit, and let's drain the pasta. And I'm also, another thing that I didn't like about last night, Derek, was I didn't like how much pasta I had to the mushroom ratio. So we're gonna add less pasta. Yum, yum, yum. And I'm going to actually add that to the dish. So I'd like to get it a little bit seared. I'd like to get a little bit of searedness on the pasta. I know that sounds funny, but it makes it taste so much better. And you see how I have a very small amount of pasta relative to the mushrooms.
Should have done that last night.
I know, I should have done that last night. Okay, now I'm also going to add some spinach to this. And I think I'm going to add the sauce first. This dish was born out of my husband being starving to death and me only having a couple things in the house. I didn't have much of this sauce, and I didn't add a whole lot, so it wasn't really soupy. And that's kind of key to making it be delicious. And then I'm going to add the spinach. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, and you know what I didn't say I was going to add to it, but I'm going to add some vegan Parmesan, because that's just going to thicken it up. And it's going to give it one more layer of flavor. We talked about the layers of the flavors.
Smell is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the way truffles smell.
I know, I do too. Some people don't like truffles. I don't know what is wrong with people who don't like truffles, but there are people who don't. So I'm going to cover that up with a lid. I'm going to get some Parmesan, and we're going to be done. And how long did that take? I mean, seconds, right? I'm going to cover that up with a lid. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, and I'm going to get some vegan Parmesan. This is going to be really good. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, there are lots of different brands of vegan Parmesan. And there are some that are really, really good for you that have cashews. I like the Miyoko's brand a lot. There's a couple of them that are great. There's even one in LA that is considered a dairy. And their ingredients are fantastic, really good for you. Most vegan cheeses are just oil that have some potato starch and some other things added to it. This is in that category. I couldn't find any of the cheeses that I was looking for, but that's okay. Not every meal has to be perfect.
Kind of like last night. It's not perfect.
Shut up. But what you're gonna see is that we've got tomatoes, we've got mushrooms, we've got spinach, we've got the truffle sauce, and you're gonna see that this is a really plant-rich dish that is also really delicious. So let's just let that melt a little bit. And if you want, you could add some extra jalapeno, you could add some hot sauce, you could add some chili peppers if you want it even hotter, but the truffle picante sauce is quite spicy by itself. And let's add a little splash of wine to this as well. I think that's going to make it. I didn't do that last night, Derek, and I think that might have been.
The reasons just keep adding up.
I know they do, don't they? I like the green in it because I like how pretty it looks. I'm just going to add a splash of wine, just a little splash of white wine. And you'd think that white wine wouldn't be what you'd add to a pasta, but I actually like adding white wine to pastas, and we're going to let that's going to burn off. And so if you're someone who doesn't like to drink alcohol, the alcohol in the wine will burn off, and you won't actually get the effects of that at all in your food. So voila! Truffle picante sauce, 1 pot pasta with gluten-free pasta. Should we try it?
Let's do it.
Well, it's probably going to be really hot right now, so
Let's do it in a couple minutes.
Okay, let's let it cool down for a minute.
Let's finish off that white wine.
If you make this dish, please share in the comment section below. Let me know what little twists you added to it, and let me know what you love about it. And if you really love it, subscribe and share it with your friends. We'll see you next time.